Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello. My name's Michael Cott. I'm the Associate Dean of the Learning Resource Center and the Performing Arts Center, and I'd like to welcome you to the finale, our fourth in a series of Latino Thoughtmakers residency here. It's the finale for the fall, because we will be back, but they'll tell you more about that later. I would like to take a moment to thank Dr. Stan Fields, president of Morton College, for the support to making these conversations possible. So let's give him a hand, if you would, please. It's through his support and his commitment to our students that something like this is possible. I'd like to also let you know of some upcoming events we have here happening at the JPAC and on campus. February the 19th, the Women's Empowerment Conference. On March the 7th, the Lyra Ensemble will be here. That's Pulaski Day is the beginning of that week, so this is a celebration of Polish heritage on Wednesday the 7th. On the 25th of March through April the 9th, our spring musical, the Spitfire Grill, will open. Let's see, May the 18th, we have the new Chicago Chamber Orchestra will be here for a performance. Everything but the play are all free. The play is cheap, so just log on to the website and you can get cheap tickets. And then, of course, we have our end of the year festivities celebrating our students, their achievements, and commencement. And then in the summer, we will have a huge alumni celebration as well. We're very happy that you're here, and it is my pleasure to introduce Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Blanca Jara. Blanca?
Muchas gracias, Miguel. Muchas gracias. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Espero que hayan disfrutado el mariachi y que ya se hayan puesto en el evento que vamos a tener hoy. Quiero darle primeramente las gracias al presidente del colegio, Stan Fields, por su apoyo para poder traer estos tipos de programas al colegio. Entonces, si no fuera por el apoyo de él, no estuviéramos aquí con estos programas. So, Dr. Fields, thank you so much for everything. Mi teléfono está funcionando, so no puedo recordar todas las fechas que dijo Miguel. Así le digo yo de cariño. Entonces, este es el último show que vamos a tener para la temporada. Entonces, Latino Thoughtmakers va a regresar el año próximo con muchos más programas y eventos que vamos a tener aquí en el colegio. Tenemos muchos planes para los programas para el Spring. Entonces, el año que entra vamos a tener un evento para mujeres, que es el cuarto año que lo tenemos en el colegio. It's called Women Empowerment Conference, and it's going to be here at Morton College. Es un día entero para el Día de la Mujer y también para que los hombres nos entiendan un poquito más, porque a veces necesitan un poquito de ayuda. Vamos a tener plays que va a tener Mike, right? Vamos a tener nuestras graduaciones, que usualmente es un fin de semana entero para celebrar todo lo que han hecho nuestros estudiantes aquí. Y entonces también vamos a tener un evento para las personas que se han graduado de Morton College, que esperemos que sea un fin de semana entero para que hagan relaciones nuevas, para que aprendan más y sepan cómo nos podemos apoyar unos a los otros. Entonces, esto lo voy a decir en inglés. One of the things that I do here is to really build relationships and ensure that when you come to the college, you have a great experience. When you come here, that you know that we are here to support you and provide resources, regardless whether you are a student, where you are an adult learner, or if you're just a member of our community. So I want you to take away that when you leave our institution today. By doing so, we really try to build our partnerships. And one of the persons in which we've been building our partnership is with Angel Goico. He is from the show Radio Ritmo Mix. The first time he interviewed me, I felt so welcome because I was able to speak in ways that I'm able to speak that's usually Spanglish. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our MC for today, Goico from Radio Ritmo Mix.
Well, familia, welcome to Morton College. I'm a little bit hoarse. La gripa, como dicen, it's not the Rona. Just, I've been drinking the good tea. Poquito de tequilita y Bacardi, y ahí vamos. Want to thank you, every single one of you folks that are here, showed up here tonight. Thank you for coming out. Gracias por decir presente. Gracias por ayudar a Morton College en esta serie con Rick Najera, donde él trae diferentes individuos, personas que han pasado por la pantalla grande, that have walked in front of the big screen and the little screen, and he gives us the opportunity for us to talk and ask questions and whatnot. Okay, so if you speak Spanish, don't worry about it. I got you. If you speak English, No se preocupen que yo le echo el inglés también. I said that in Spanish. Do us a favor. This is a numbers game. We're a new station. We don't have a frequency. Download the application Radio Ritmo Mix. All one word together, okay? It's available on for your iPhone and for your Android phone. You know, we also have the desktop available. So if you're at work, your chupavisor y la chupavisora is hounding you, just, Radio Ritmo Mix, sube el volumen, and away we go. Okay, familia? So thank you again for being out here. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Blanca. So let's take care of business, shall we? Bueno, damas y caballeros, welcome to Morton College. We want to thank the following folks. If you're here, since the Hollywood lights are hitting, I can barely see you, but if I mention your name, please stand up, remain standing. Queremos decirle gracias to Mr. Michael, and by the way, there's no charge for the accent, okay? That's on the house. Michael Kott, K-O-T-T, Associate Dean, Learning Resources and Performing Arts. Also would like to mention Ruben Ruiz, Chief Information Officer, MIS. Where are you at, señorita, Agoncillo? Please remain standing. Hold your rounds of applause. I always hate when they say that, but I have to say it. We also want to thank el señor Joseph Florio, Director of Campus Operations and Facilities. Where are you at, Joseph? I don't see you. If you're somewhere around here, please stand up. A big thank you to Vincent Aceves, Chief of Campus Police. Please stand up. Hold your applause. Give me a minute because I'm going to be tired of this. We're trying to run this real quick, please. Perla Santoyo, Administrative Assistant, Institutional Advancement, please. Okay. I guess I'll say it in español. Aguanten los aplausos, coño. Entonces, un saludo. We also want to say thank you to Maria Anderson, Executive Assistant. Come on, keep on rolling with it. President Office. Chihuahua. También queremos darle la gracia a Ana Valdez, Executive Assistant to the Provost and Executive Vice President of the Board Clerk. Come on, don't let me hang here. Jesus. Making me work, guys. I thought it was going to be an easy gig. We also want to say thank you to Diego Alemán Santiaguillo. Sorry if I butchered your name, Recruitment Specialist. Big thank you to Neil Moss, Coordinator of Help Desk and Technical Support Digital Media. Also, big thank you to Marisol Velasquez, Associate Provost, Vice President of Student Services. Échale. Got another title to sneak in there? Jeez. And last but not least, Blanca Jara, Vice President of Institutional Advancement. So we know who's buying the lunch, huh? Blanca, huh? Okay. Get next to you. Morton College students, where are the student ends? Alex Herrera, Student Aid, Institutional Advancement. Where you at, Alex? Alex Smith. Big round of applause. Leslie Santoyo, Jacqueline Leon, Diego D.A. Rin, Pedro Martinez, and Gilver Diaz. All right, that was easy. Oh, we got one more. Julia Igarreda. Don't hate me, okay? Visual effects, keeping it moving. We also want to thank the folks for marketing and creative. Katrina Payton, grad UP. Victor Lozano, come on, folks, let's go. Sense Media. Rene Salina, Creative Lives here. And also the good-looking, modest, humble MC, Goico, myself from Radio Ritmo. Actually. All right, familia, let's get the show started. Tonight, Rick Najera brings you a young Latina. Listen, don't be afraid to ask questions. Si tienen a su hijo, if you have your young family member, a young child, or if you know somebody that wants to get into the business of communication or entertainment, listen, ask questions. Become one, participate. That's why we do this. Okay, familia? Let's give a big round of applause for a gentleman that has made Hollywood aware of what's going on with the Latino community just by the stroke of his pen. Familia, let's give it up for Rick Najeras.
Rick Najera grew up 15 miles from the border in San Diego, California. His father fought in World War II and served in Vietnam. His mother lost a brother fighting in World War II. Rick Najera came from an ordinary family, but they inspired him to believe that so-called ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Rick Najera seldom saw our Latino story told in Hollywood, and when it was told, it wasn't told by us. So he began to write plays, TV shows, and films like Nothing Like the Holidays set in Chicago. He was the first American Mexican descent to write, star, and produce a play on Broadway. Rick Najera wanted to tell all of our collective stories. And this is what Latino Thought Makers is, because Rick Najera believes together we are the solution, never the problem. This is Latino Thought Makers at Morton College, and here everybody's welcome.
Please.
Thank you. What I love about this program, Latino Thought Makers, it's really a chance to basically be in your home, in your front room, whether it be a Latino home or any other home. There's always something about home. I mean, in my home, I imagine Corona, Menudo, and some sort of sports on TV. That was most of my Sundays growing up. And what I love about having a conversation like this with our people is that we include more people at our table. And that's what Latino Thought Makers is. It's really started as a program to honor Latinos and say that Latinos are the solution, never the problem, because what we need is education. And one of the reasons being here at Morton College, I got to teach my first class this year. So it was an amazing experience to have a great time. And went back to school during COVID, during the worst of COVID. I was in school, I went to Pierce, all these different, I graduated from Cal Lutheran with the BA, and now I'm getting my MFA this week. So education is important to me, and that's the great thing about this. I want to show you the actress that I brought out this program because what I want to show is all the different sides of what Latino is and our Latino experience. And this is the youth. This is the future of Hollywood. The future of Hollywood is this young woman that I've got to meet. I worked with her in the film Feliz Navidad, which played earlier today. And even tonight, I have a film coming out with Mario Lopez tonight at 8 o'clock. I won't see it, but I'll be here with you. Because this, to me, is one of the most important discussions to talk about our future. So take a look at this video.
I'm Ashley Garcia. There's this boy, and I was going to tell him that I like him, but Brooke told me she liked him. How stupid could I be to think he and I could ever be a thing?
Do you want to go to the fall ball with me?
Who would have thought we'd be so right for each other? A football player and a brilliant scientist who builds spaceships.
Close enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paulina Chavez. Well, first of all, I've been watching your career for a while. And I got to work with you on Feliz Navidad. And I saw an incredible actress. And one of the things I loved about working with you is everyone else saw the same thing I did. Mario Lopez raves about you. And you've worked with him now in 2 projects, right?
Yeah, I have.
What was that experience like?
Oh my goodness, Mario is just the way you see him on TV. He's a love, and he...
You watched him all the way since Saved by the Bell.
My mom did. I would watch him on Extra Extra. Every hotel room I would go to, it was like, extra, extra. And hello everyone, it's Mario Lopez here. And yeah, that's how I...
So was it intimidating for you, I mean, to work with him? Or is it something you just got over quick and just started working?
Oh my goodness, I remember when I was auditioning for Ashley Garcia. We saw that one of the creators was Mario Lopez. We were like, that's so cool. Let's submit the audition. And then they flew me out for a testing. And they sent like a list of who was gonna be in the room. And I was reading all of them, researching everybody. And then Mario Lopez was on the list, and I was like, there's no way he's gonna show up. And he was there, obviously, because it's his show. I tried to play it off really cool. I walked into the room, and I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet everybody. And then Mario Lopez stood up and came to hug me. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And as I was hugging him, I was like, it's Mario Lopez. And everybody laughed, so he knew that I did not play it off.
But he's such a, I mean, Mario's a really down-to-earth guy. Did you find that to be true?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
I mean, he's from San Diego, very Mexican family. But that's one thing about him. His family, he has a great family.
Oh yeah, he is a family guy. 100%.
His daughter's in his next project right now.
Yes, I'm so excited to watch it.
Yes, she's gonna.
She is a natural.
Yeah, I watched it. I was on the set, so I get to see her up close. That kid has timing like I've never heard before.
She's just so incredible. The raw talent is there, and I think she's really gonna go far.
Now,
really
you have a new project coming up. Can you
Yes.
show me put this up? 'Cause I want to talk about your past, present, and now.
Okay.
This is the future. They're going to put up a picture here. You tell me if you recognize this picture.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, this is your new project
Yes,
at
it
Netflix. You're starring in this. And your character is, can you tell us about her?
Yeah, her name is Flora, and she is based off of the Nickelodeon show Winx Club. And I'm joining season 2 of Fate the Winx saga. She's feisty, and she is Latina, obviously. The cool thing about this show is it doesn't really showcase like, oh, she's Latina, and it's like she's Latina and she's a regular human being like everybody else. So that's something very different that I haven't seen, and I'm really excited for everybody to.
So she's not.
see her.
She's well written.
She's well written, yes.
And that's the great thing is, do you think the writing is getting a little bit better in Hollywood when it comes to our people?
I think people are learning, and I think it's very important not to tiptoe around touchy subjects, because we know our culture best, and we can point out when something is not good enough.
Yeah, it's like tell our story, and our story is best told by ourselves.
I think Eva Longoria said people are afraid to get it right, and so like a movie like In the Heights is just getting ripped apart.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah, and tell them why right now In the Heights has a lot of people upset with it. Not necessarily our community, but there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people upset about it. I feel like you could explain it better than I can.
All right. All right. In the Heights by Lin-Manuel Miranda was, first of all, it was a Broadway play. It was about the Dominican, the neighborhood he grew up in. And all neighborhoods change. They're constantly changing. So a lot of people are saying there wasn't enough Afro-Latinos in the movie. So they were looking and saying, Lin-Manuel is not really touting the Afro-Latino mix of the Dominican neighborhood. And I don't, for me personally, and I'll be honest about it, I saw more representation of people of color, BIPOC, in that first scene than in all the years I watched Friends.
Yep.
You remember Friends? Remember New York
Yeah.
coffee house set in New York? How many Latinos do you see walking through that? It's in New York. How many
Yeah.
Latinos did you see behind the counter? It's in New York. How many friends did they have that they went out with? And that was kind of funny because it's set in New York. And the same's been said of the one about the women in New York. It's not necessarily my movie. It was, yeah, which one? Which movie? Women, yeah, they're women, Sex in the City. That's
Yeah,
what,
Sex and the City.
Yeah, Sex in the City. How many Latinos or people of color did you see in Sex and the City? And the statistics are 4.9% of 1,000 movies shown had Latinos in it. And we're 17% of the population, 17.9, something like that. There's a lot of Latinos out there who are not being seen. And that's a continuing problem in Hollywood. And what I see is the future here with you. And I know that's not going to be the case.
Things are changing, and for the good. And a movie like In the Heights, it's only the beginning. And there are so many stories to tell and so much change that needs to happen. And it's all about educating the people. Unfortunately, you really just got to tell them, like, no, honey, that's not it. That's not it. And you have to be straightforward with them. And they'll appreciate you a lot better.
Yeah, and I think Hollywood's much more open to that. I mean, I remember when I first started, I was gang lord number 3, 4, 5. I was maybe a gang accountant one time. No, I'm joking. No, it wasn't even that. Most of the stuff I played were criminals. There was a statistic that said that there are more aliens and dinosaurs on television than Latinos at one point. That's pretty bad. So that's why having you here and talking to you is to change that. Was there anyone in your youth and time that a Latino you admired or aspired to be?
Ooh. I mean, I grew up watching telenovelas, and so I would always watch them with my grandma. I think my biggest inspirations were the women in my family, my grandma, my mom, my sisters. My mom is an educator, and so she always taught me that it was important to continue my education in any way, shape, or form. My oldest sister is an engineer,
Wow.
and the middle one, she's also an educator for freshman high school.
That's amazing. So you come from a family of educators and engineers.
Yeah,
So I believe that if you can see an example, you can be an example.
yeah.
And you saw an example all your life of a mother who's an educator. I think
And
she-
my dad, what did he do? He went, "Hi, Mama, I see you." ¿Qué hizo?
He started in
Transportation, and he is good at math. He went to school in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, and then went over to El Paso, Texas.
And my family's Chihuahua, too.
And that's where he learned English. He is so smart. He is so smart.
So that's the great thing. With our people, it's two ways. Either we're educated in school or we're educated in life. I mean, I believe you got to have both.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that you come from a family that is college graduates, has lived that world. I mean, myself, I'm the first college graduate from my family. I'm the first to ever get a master's. That's how rare it is a lot of times in certain communities and how we grew up. That's changing. That's what I feel good about.
Yeah. My mom and dad were the first in the family too.
Yeah, you're the first. Wow, that's amazing. So it's a process. The first time I ever had a professor who was Latino was 2 years ago. Chicano studies of all things. But he was like, he would really walk out there like a homeboy professor. He's like, "Hey, what's up? We're gonna teach you Chicano studies. Get ready for this." And he was brilliant. And it got me thinking about, if you don't see an example, you can't be that example. If we're not seeing educators who are Latino, we're missing out.
Yeah.
Now, you started very young,
Yes.
7.
7. Yeah.
What was that? Did you know what you were even doing, or do you
No. No, I did not. So the school that my mom worked at, I went there too. We had just moved to San Antonio, and there was a drama club, and so I would stay after school with my mom, obviously, and she would have her meetings, and I would just roam the halls, which I was not allowed to do, but I did anyways. And I went into the cafeteria, and that's where I saw them rehearsing. And so from then on, that's when I was like, I need to do this next year. And so I auditioned, and it was so nerve-wracking. I ran out of the room. I went in, and there was just like a panel of people that I didn't know. They weren't even teachers. I was like, oh my God, and I ran out. And then my second grade teacher, she came up to me and she was like, you have to do this, because if you don't do it now, you're gonna regret it. And regret is a big thing. That's the biggest heartbreak, I think.
Yeah.
And so she went in with me, and I auditioned, and I made it. And so ever since then, I was just trying on for every yearly school play until middle school. I tried theater, and it wasn't for me anymore, and so I told my mom I wanted to try film acting. And so she did a lot of research and found there's not a lot in San Antonio. Now there is, but she found an acting studio in Dallas, which is like a 5-hour drive. And so she would drive me 5 hours, and then she would drive me back another 5 hours.
She spent 10 hours on the road.
Yeah.
To go
to
1 hour, 2 hours.
And she had like a full-time job.
Wow.
And so that was she was always there for me, supporting me. And my dad supported me. Everybody was supporting me. I honestly don't know their reaction to when I was like, I'm gonna be an actor. Yeah. And so who knows what they were like thinking, but my mom was like, I'm gonna take you, and I'm gonna pay for it.
And you knew it clearly. You said, I'm gonna be an actor.
I'm gonna be an actor, yeah.
No.
And they always like told me like, whenever you do not wanna be an actor anymore, just like let us know, and we can find something else for you to do. But I was like, stop saying that. Like, I'm gonna be an actor, and I'm gonna be a director, and I'm gonna be a writer. I was focused. I never liked school, I will say, which is, my mom an educator, I hate school, mama. It was rough being the teacher's daughter. And every time, again, they would bring outsiders to the panel to pick who they want for certain roles. And, you know, all the kids would be like, oh, you're only in drama because your mom's a teacher. You're only in cheerleading because your mom's a teacher. And even when I booked the Netflix show, they were like, oh, what did your mom have to do to get you to Netflix? I was like, I told them a bad word that I will not repeat. But I was like, excuse you.
So you made your journey. I mean, you had support from your family, which is great. And you know, it's great to have Paulina here because her mother's here as well. And I thought, what a beautiful thing. It becomes a family journey.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's, I'm sure she never thought about being an actress in her lifetime, and all of a sudden your daughter's an actress and you're following her career. I mean, I saw you guys on the set in Reno.
Yes.
And I thought, that's a beautiful family vacation. What a great time.
Yep.
Is there any actress or actors you're admiring now that you look at and go, that's kind of where the trajectory I want to go on?
Oh, I mean, there's so many good actors nowadays. The one that I always mention is Zendaya.
Is who?
Zendaya.
Okay.
Don't who?
No,
It's
sorry.
Zendaya. Come on now.
Yes. But you know what I'm saying to you. You have to adapt, which you have done, because I think, you know, Darwin said it's the strongest animal. That it wasn't that. He said the animal that adapts, the species adapt.
Yeah.
being a Latino in Hollywood, you're kind of forced to adapt because there isn't every role written for you, and you have to go to the table and explain why it should be.
Yeah, it's crazy. I get auditions for Caucasian, and it's like, I'm American, and they don't let me audition for them. They don't really give me an opportunity, and they give me the Mexican best friend. It's like, I can play Caucasian too if you need me to. I can, obviously,
Yeah,
I'm
but
an actor, but they don't see you like that.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
just-
catch-22.
Yep.
Because one is, as a Latino, you don't want to say, I don't want to play Latino. It's beneath me.
No,
You know,
it's
never. No,
never that.
Because not.
It's never that.
Yeah, so you want to do it, but at the same time, they're penalizing you for saying, I like to be in this category at times, but as an actor, the whole point of acting is you can play anything.
Exactly. And yet they still put you in a little
No, I mean-
category and stick you in a box, and you have to just jump out of a box. And they put you back in, and then you jump out. Back in, jump out. And they try to put you back in and lock it up. And then you say, no, you're doing it wrong. And then you free yourself.
Because you have opinions on even marketing. I've talked to you. You'd be a really good producer.
A lot of Latino shows are not marketed the same way white shows are marketed, which is very interesting, and I'm sure you can tell. I know there was a petition for Baker and the Beauty, and I hope you guys watched that. They were not promoting it, period. And they always find like, oh, well, we're trying to find a way to market it to the Latinos in America. And I'm like, why? It's a TV show, it's entertainment for everybody. It shouldn't just be categorized for one set of people. It should be for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's how you open everybody's eyes up.
But you did a thing where you run a show, and if they're saying we want to market it toward Latinos here, but in other parts of the world your show's on, and which parts really responded to you?
Russia, Brazil, Germany, and not a lot of Latino America, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, because-
So they tried to market it for, I think, Latino America, and everybody else just gravitated to it.
Because in those countries, Russia, all those ones you just mentioned, actually have Mexican programming. Televisa sells to every one of those nations and puts on programming, where Talia is a huge star in Russia, much bigger than here. Or so-and-so is a huge star in France, or David Hasselhoff, for Germany, all that sort of thing. That must be odd to you that the world accepts you, but they're putting you into a cast
Yeah,
in our country.
yeah.
So
Where
you-
it's so diverse.
How do
Which
we-
it is, and yet it's not being portrayed on TV. I believe it's so important that young people view themselves in TV, and that's why I love Ashley Garcia so much. A lot of young Latinos were like, oh my God, I can actually be an astronaut. I don't have to just, in my experience, stay in San Antonio. I don't have to just stay I can actually travel and do things and not be put in a box.
So a lot of times your world has been, and that's tough because as an actor, you're put in a box a lot.
Oh yeah.
They're basically the breakdowns. They'll be like, we need a Paulina type, or we need this person, and you're constantly broken down to a different category, and that's almost a standardization of what our world is in America. You can't know the product by being in the can, but they want you to know the product, and your product is, you're saying is Latina. When the truth is, you're an actress who could play many different roles.
Yeah. I will say, after Ashley Garcia and after it got canceled, I was like struggling to get any recognition from any casting directors. And I had a theory. I was like, I think it's because I have dark brown hair. And so I got highlights, kind of like these. And I started getting callbacks, director sessions, and then I booked Fate the Wink Saga. Which is crazy. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I hate to say it, there might be something there, because it's funny how you look at people casting-wise. I'll tell you a secret I never tell anyone. When I first started acting, I'm güero. Güero means light, basically. Good-looking Latino male. I say it all the time. That's the definition. So I'm güero.
Yeah.
And so my people call me güero, so I'm going to stick with it. So being a güero, I would audition for things, and they would look at me and go, "You're not Mexican."
Oh
And I
my
go,
God.
"My last name is Najera."
Or the thing like, can you be more Mexican?
Yeah,
Like what?
Yeah, it's like, well, I left my burro outside, but if you need me to bring it in, I'll be more Mexican. But I'd have the same problem. So I actually would put on tanning makeup,
Stop.
like dark Moorish makeup.
God.
And so I came to a show, and I actually got cast in the role as a guest star. And I came back the next 3 days later dressed as me. It's like, hi, I just wanted to meet the director. I'm Rick Najera. I'll be auditioning. I'll be in your show. The guy's like, oh my God, you're not the dude we saw. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, you're not him. Like I'd somehow fooled everyone and said, I'm him. He goes, no, you look different. You're not. And I go, it's me. So I show up the next day on the set, and I put the dark makeup on and the long coat, the whole thing. And he's like, oh my God, glad you're here. Like he still didn't believe it was me, like some sort of thing was the thing. And because they're so myopic, if you say Mexican, my days, it was either Antonio Banderas or Paul Rodriguez. You won 2 categories. We need a Paul Rodriguez type Mexican, because he's funny and he's kind of, and then we have a Banderas type Mexican.
Yeah.
What do you see, is there a TV show that's really getting you hooked, that you look at and go, that's the kind of show I want to do?
Ooh, I love Squid Game. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Squid Game is so cool.
The Korean
Yeah.
death movie?
Like, oh my goodness. It's so funny. I think, is that the #1 show on
Yes,
Netflix? It is the #1
Squid
show on
Game's #1
Netflix.
show.
And it's not even in our language,
Yeah. Have you guys ever
which
watched
is amazing.
Squid Games? Anyone seen Squid Games? Okay.
Yeah,
there's
do you
some
see
Squid-
how it doesn't matter where you come from? People are gonna watch it if it's good. And-
That's what's changing, I think, because it's international. The world's it's a little different way of thinking. It's like I worked for Televisa. They had telenovelas all over the world. They thought internationally. Only now America's starting to think that way. Like shows like Netflix, Squid Games, #1 show around. What it is about is they have these games like you're playing kids games, but they're deadly. You die.
Yeah.
It's like, green light, red light. Imagine with a machine gun on that one. That game, it's a whole different level of it's interesting,
It's a
I
very
guess.
interesting one. It really is. And I'm excited for the creators to make a crap ton of money next season.
Well,
because they deserve it.
He was broke before he sold the
Yeah.
show. He actually has just sold his computer. So you hear that story. The guy sold his computer, and the next he got another computer back and wrote Squid Games, the #1 show in the world. So there is a good, happy ending there.
Yeah.
If you had your way, if you sat there and said, what shows would you want developed for you? What characters? What era? What would you want?
I love period films, Keira Knightley type of vibe. I think we need a Pride and Prejudice Latino version.
So you love that era.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Would you ever do a Western?
I don't know. I'm open to everything. Anything that has a good story and has a good message. I'm here for it.
You're here for it.
I'm not closing myself up to anything. I'm very open to everything.
You did this movie Feliz Navidad, which is great because you got to sing and dance and have that world and the bells and the whole thing like that. Would you ever want to do a story about mariachis or singing something like that?
It would be very interesting. Yeah.
'Cause
I was part of a mariachi group, so.
Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness. My middle school had a mariachi group, and so I joined, and I had to play the violin and everything. I faked it till I made it, which I think I did. Which my instructor now, Mr. Campos, he would be like, no, you can't fake this, you need to practice. But yeah, I joined because I wanted to sing, and so I did, and I was in their group until I booked Ashley Garcia. And I still go back with Mr. Campos and practice with him. And
So you still sing?
I still sing.
You still sing mariachi? Did you enjoy the mariachis today?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Huge smile on my face.
If your parents supported you, they really worked with you, they drove 10 hours a day, which is big applause for you, because I got to be a parent on set with my son. It is such a different thing because you truly are a parent. It's about them. You're just all about them and what do they need and all that stuff.
Making sure they eat.
Yeah, make sure they eat. They have classes on set. You have to take
That's right. Ooh.
Yeah, classes on set. You have to
Sorry.
Yeah. So you never stop educating when you're an
I-
actor?
yeah,
On,
no.
on sets, they actually bring in teachers,
Yeah, you have to do at least like 3 hours of school.
3 hours of school.
I graduated a year early so that I didn't have to worry about school while I was shooting Ashley Garcia. So I graduated when I was 17.
You're a graduate.
So I graduated high school.
Any,
yeah.
any thoughts about going to college?
I think about it every day. And my mom's always like, college, take a few courses. So I am thinking about it, and I will do it when I have money. Because college is expensive, and so...
I know.
So I did say, like, I was like, if Ashley Garcia gets picked up for a second season, I will go to college. If it didn't get picked up, that's a sign. I think that's a sign. So not yet, but eventually I will. I do want to take some courses, especially
should.
business.
Well,
Business
that's-
is very important, I
It's
think.
necessary. I mean, if you're going to be a producer, which I know you will, you're going to need to have art history and all those things.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
know that world.
Exactly.
So that's good. No, I'm glad you, I think it's important. We talked about earlier today, we said that it's almost more important to be a person than to be an actor first, because the person is what you're putting on the actor's costume for. So development of you as a person, developing yourself as a person is almost tantamount of what an actor has to do.
Yeah.
You speak 2 languages. You know, you've got a lot of things going for yourself. And you bring a great culture to a great art. So I think that will be your legacy. I think there's a lot of great things. And that's why I wanted you here. Honestly, truthfully, I was thinking to myself, who would we get? I know next year when we're back, we've got some great talent coming in. But this part is so important because you're also talking to students that are around your age. So it's a different thing. I watched when some of the students came backstage to talk to you, and their
Nice to see.
smiles and they're hugging you, and you got a lot of great attention. And what made me happy was you became an example of what they can see. In other words, if you can see an example, you can be an example. You became an example of saying, I can try something, whether it's acting, whether it's anything else you want to try. The fact is you're trying, you're expanding yourself, like the expanding universe of Ashley Garcia, but you're expanding. And that's kind of the thing what you're really hoping for everyone to figure out, there's people, they did DNA research, this is really fascinating. And they found out there were some people that still had the DNA of people that lived in a cave 5,000 years ago near their village. They had never moved. And I think I would have to move. I could never do that.
Yeah.
But that's what you're, I believe, and what I like to see, and it's really great, that you are constantly evolving. You did comedy with Ashley Garcia. You're going more of a serious edge, fantasy,
Yes.
all that kind of world. How do you feel about drama?
I love drama. That's what I prepare for. That's what I always wanted to do. And then, sitcom comes in my way, and it was such an amazing experience. Probably my favorite experience thus far, because the people were just so great, and it was a family. We were a family, and they were one of a kind, and it was just incredible. And I remember the live audiences. It brought me back to theater, and it was just so fun interacting with all of the beautiful faces that were out there. And
Who are some of your directors you had?
directors?
What was one of your favorite directors? It must have been, I can guess, but who would be?
Oh my goodness. So our very first director was Judy Hahn, and she really introduced us to sitcom, and she really helped guide us. And she was just there. She did a boot camp, and she taught us everything that we needed to know to do this fast-paced thing. And so she was there from the beginning, and so she really helped me find my love for sitcom. But we had a lot of amazing people. We had Evelyn Longoria, of course.
Evelyn Longoria,
Kelly
that's what I was going to
Clark.
choose.
Yeah.
I was going to figure
She-
Evelyn. How was it like working with her?
She's so hilarious. Her comedic timing is beyond. So she's incredible, and she's always someone I can call up if I need any guidance, especially in this industry.
Is there ever times where you feel, like, what am I doing here?
Oh, yeah.
How do you combat that? Or do you just accept that feeling?
God. There's a lot of racism everywhere you go, and sexism, and you just have to
Do you find do you encounter a lot of racism?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
that
it's
also
just-
toughens you up.
It's just something that that person is a child and they are being very unprofessional. And I've learned to not give them the time of day at all. Like, I'm a pretty nice person, I think I would say. I'm bubbly, I'm smiley. But once they show me that side, I immediately, I'm not giving you anything. And so I will be just blunt, straightforward, and I will report them,
Would you
which
wish?
you should do.
How do you wish Hollywood would see you? You,
As a creator,
the creator.
as a human being.
That's beautiful.
That's it. Because that's what we are. We are here as human beings, and it's just the way we were brought up to think like, oh, these people are this people are that. And it's just like, no. We're in the 21st century, guys. Like, this is sad. Like, come on. Change needs to happen now. But there's still so much to do, and we're doing it.
You talk about, I think it's important when you say we need to be creators. And I take it from that. I mean, I always feel that the best writing I've ever done didn't come from me, it came from a voice I hear. That's kind of the way it is. Creators are that way. And I even look, and I'm not being biblical or anything like this, so please don't be offended. But I always remember as a kid when I read the Bible was God created man in the image of God. And I thought, if he created, or she created, whatever you want to call God, and that reflects us, we're a reflection of that, then I think we are naturally, all people are creative people. And you found your way for a creative life. How you liking it right now?
I'm loving it.
Good.
I'm loving it, yeah. And I'm excited for what's to come, the change that's going to happen. And we're all part of it. Everybody in this audience, everybody watching this, we're all part of the change.
We're all part of the change.
Yeah.
Do you think people really should feel more of an obligation to want to change, or
I would hope so.
get in the fight
But
with
that's up to you.
Really?
It really is up to you. There are people, especially our generation, we are hoping for change and we are doing the best that we can for change. And so I'm really advocating for them. I love TikTok and I watch a lot of creators talk about day-to-day life and the problems in our social life and social media. And I think that's the right way. Yeah, they're putting it out there, and I think it's very important to listen.
I like what
'Cause
this.
it's a lot of like, oh well, they're young, this and that, but it's like, no, guys, like we're the future.
Young has changed the world continually. Every generation of young has changed the world.
Yeah.
I can't ever look at the young people and think that if they don't necessarily have knowledge, they have desire. And the desire of change
Yeah.
has always been our human nature. And you're an example of that. So I think what I would like to do is open this up, not just for us, but for anyone in the audience who wants to join this conversation and ask us a question. Ladies and gentlemen, Paulina Chavez. So we'll find out if anyone wants to ask a question. You can ask us anything. We're always open to whatever question needs to be asked, and sometimes even out there. But people ask the stuff they want to know, and that's the beauty of being here in a live situation, is you have the opportunity to ask questions that maybe you've never thought of when you get to see the person in front of you. So.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Good question.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. Wow. You went for the drama there.
Yeah. Of course. Oh my goodness, he's incredible.
He's incredible. He's
He's
really
incredible,
That's a good
yeah.
drama. Good choice.
Hello.
Is that? My question is, what advice can you give a student from Morton College to achieve their goals?
Continue working hard. I think it's so important to work hard and have your priorities straight. I was homeschooled second semester of 8th grade just so that I could be auditioning and just be focused and ready. And so I did not have friends growing up. I really did not have friends. I have friends now, and I think it's also very important to surround yourself by people who uplift you and do not try to diminish your light. And when they do try to diminish your light, you leave. You have to leave. And let them regret losing you. Truly.
So don't hang out with anyone that diminishes your light.
Yeah.
When you walk in the room, that person's eyes should brighten up and be happy to see you.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Oh.
If you could come out, if you could come out in any movie, which one would it be?
Ooh, I don't know.
What's that question again?
I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna manifest it. I would love to be in the new series that's gonna come out, Mexican Gothic.
Mexican Gothic, cool.
Mexican Gothic. I mean, yeah, putting it out there.
If you weren't a celebrity, what would you be doing right now?
I love animals, and so I recently met a cousin, long lost cousin, and she has a farm, she has a rancho, and she just takes care of animals, and it's like a petting zoo, so I would probably do that. Or be a vet, I don't know.
Hi, if you were to go to college, where would you consider going?
East Coast, West Coast, where?
I would love to go to Berkeley. Here, yes, here.
Ship.
It's Berkeley.
Deal. Berkeley.
That's a very powerful, good school. Good for you. I'm glad you chose a tougher one.
But here, obviously. Scholarship? Yeah, sign me up. That is my sign. The universe is like, go to college.
Anyone else have a question? Okay, I think that's...
Hi, at first, thank you for being here. I know that you are in the beginning of your career, but at the same time, you're already living your dream, like performing on Netflix. So what advice would you give for young people like you and me? I guess that we are around the same age. Yeah. So what advice would you give to us?
Okay, again, surround yourself by positivity. Honestly, it's very important, and I know I have my moments. My mom has been through all of them, where I just want to give up, and I don't want to do it anymore. But then I remember that, again, we are the change, and so we are powerhouses, and we are going to, I mean, we're Latinos. I mean, we rule the world, honestly. They just don't know it. They really don't. I'm like, guys, you're welcome. We're here.
Yeah,
We could be bowing at our existence. I'm just kidding. But like,
I would say realize it's not as hard as you think. A lot of times people look at everything and think, oh, it's too hard. Like,
yeah, like it's impossible.
Yeah, it's
and nothing is
impossible.
impossible. Selena Quintanilla would always say, like, the impossible is possible.
yeah, I think once you start to realize that, because I'm just a kid from La Mesa, and I've been on Broadway. As weird as it sounds, the odds of that are so small.
Yeah.
But it's possible. That was my dream. I really want to go to Broadway. And if you say your dream, and you say it to your friends around you, and you talk about it, your dreams will happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't want to be a liar. You don't want to be a liar. So your dreams will happen.
Yeah. Believe in the power of manifestation.
The power of yes.
The power of yes, yeah.
So, what challenges you have overcome as an actor, as in your career, and any recommendations for all of us here? And I know you mentioned we are all human beings, and we all have different talents.
Yeah.
Any advice that you can tell us that we can keep in mind every single day? Since we're humans, we all make mistakes.
Yes, that is so important. It is so okay to make mistakes. I've made so many mistakes. And it's so important to learn from them and just put yourself out there. What was the first part of the question again? I get sidetracked.
Challenges that you have overcome?
Yes.
Things you've overcome.
I'm a very shy person, I will say. I am shy, and I would much rather watch Harry Potter in my room and not be totally isolated from everybody. But it's very important to know your worth. Like, you guys are worth it, and you guys have to know that, and you have to own it. Walk into everything. You know what you know. and you're smart, you guys are intelligent. Don't let anybody doubt that. Just be you.
It's
That's
so
very
true.
important.
Yeah, like I tell actors all the time, it's like, be more of you. Whatever that is in your life, be more of you. I think it's just so important of a concept because if you love yourself and you think you're good and you can advance the world in some way or help someone out someday and feel you've got a purpose, then that's being more of you.
And it takes time. You know, self-love is an ongoing journey and something you always have to work on yourself with. So be gentle with yourself. Just
Yeah, and
again, you
most-
are worthy.
And most of the people you'll see it's, as actors, your assumptions will be, oh, they just love to be in front of a stage and people and stuff like that. Most actors deal with crippling fear all the time. It's just you're a professor, you just get over it. You have to go on stage. It's just something that happens. Like it's a writer, they'll say, we want you to write this screenplay, Rick. No problem. And they'll tell it to me, and I go, oh, that's a horrible idea. Oh my God, what am I getting myself into? And they don't work out well. It's just knowing the process. The process is you have to crawl before you can walk. And as for performers and ourselves, you have to be able to fail and understand. Winston Churchill said, success is failing often with a positive attitude and going to defeat, basically. I'm paraphrasing it. Basically, I failed. Most actors up here that I talk to and that I know, you could talk all about their career, but they'll remember the role they didn't get, that they really wanted to get. Every actor has that. So get used to failure. It's not a bad thing. It moves you towards success.
Is there like someone in your life that you would consider a mentor to you, or some advice you received when you were first starting off that like has just stuck with you through it all?
Ooh. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I've ever like thought about that. I'm always gonna bring up my mom and my grandma and my dad. They are my role models. They show me how powerful women are. It's true, we are very powerful. So yeah. All of us are powerful.
Very true. Very true. I think it's, especially in our Latino community, a lot of times we really honor women and see them as the ones who, like I think of my mom. I speak at all these events, and I look out in the audience and they'll see these banquet waitresses picking up plates, and that was my mom.
Yep.
She was a banquet waitress, so I could never stand on that stadium or speech dais and speak without seeing someone that reminds me of my mom in the audience. That's a weird thing, but this also keeps me humble.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hi.
Hello.
What was the hardest thing you had to go through to become an actor?
Ooh, I think the rejection is something that, I mean, there's always going to be rejection, and it was like you get 100 no's before you get one yes, and that is very true. I've had many auditions and had heard nothing back, but it's also a thing that you also have to learn. There is so much that goes into the audition process. There is a role for you out there, so you cannot give up, because what if the next one is the one for you and you gave up? Amy Adams, I believe, she was so close to giving up. She was like, that's it. Like she had been doing it for years, and then she landed Enchanted. It's Amy Adams, right? Yes, good, got that right.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's many stories of that. It's like, think of an analogy of you're digging in a gold mine, and you just stop, you can forget about it, and you just get an X-ray vision, you see that vein of gold that was waiting for you. I think it's true. It's just, if you enjoy being at the table doing what you're doing and love it, eventually it's not a job. That's really the case. There's times, I just did a shoot in Logan, Utah. I filmed for 2 weeks. I'd never been so tired in my life, and came here, and I'm like, I was proud that I succeeded and just did it. It was hard, but I took that part and said, yeah, this is great. Enjoy it. That's another thing I think we need to bring up, gratitude. Be grateful. No matter where you are in life, be grateful, because it is not where you're gonna be. It's just the present. And the present really is a present in your life. That's one thing I've learned. So be grateful and keep, if you fail, thank you, I failed. Can't wait. I had a director once told me, he would say, I'd give him an idea, and he'd go, oh, Rick, that is such a stupid idea. We have to do it. And I'd go, All right, let's do my stupid idea. And I'd go do it. And imagine how freeing that was for me as a performer. And this is what being a performer is we're children. Remember we played that game, Tag, You're It? What court of law in the world must enforce You're It? It's you agreeing with another person. Okay, you're it, and this kid's playing. And that is all about saying yes. That's the beauty of any career you want. Say yes to it. And go as far as you can. Another question.
What do you think are the biggest steps that artists can take to confront these challenges about Latino artists?
Oh, that's a hard one.
What was the question?
What are the biggest steps that Latino artists can take to overcome these challenges?
Oh, what's
Be
the extent
loud.
that Latino artists can take to overcome these challenges? Good question, because that's the million-dollar question.
Be loud. I don't know. I think it's gonna have to be a two-person thing.
Okay,
I say be loud.
Be loud?
Be loud.
Yeah.
Speak on what you believe on.
And being loud, what she's saying by being loud for maybe people of my generation, it's not volume. It's,
No, be loud like that too.
yeah, it's not. I'm gonna translate for the people not of that generation. Being loud
Make noise.
means being more of you.
Make noise. Yeah. Be your. Yeah, and no matter how big or how little you're following, you have a following, and you can influence those people. So influence them to do good, and educate them. That's what it takes.
And that is social media.
That is
Following.
social media for you.
Everyone has a following. If you can have
Yeah.
100 people you're following, you get 20 people, whatever it is,
Doesn't matter.
that's your following. And you're entertaining that following, and you're serving that following because you're being human together. That's what being loud is being
Yeah.
human together.
Especially with Latinos. Speak out.
Yeah.
Speak out.
Because we tend to be a very polite people.
Don't be polite. I
we're-
mean, be polite, but don't.
Yeah, we're like, and that's true. I'm
It is
guilty
very
of it,
polite.
even in negotiations and doing Hollywood. I'll sometimes go, wow, I want to do the movie anyhow, so why not?
Yeah.
That's the-
Yeah, I know. And I learned from Annalyn McCoy. She said, say no. Say no to the project and they'll come back with more, which is what you deserve. Yeah.
Yes. Say yes, but then you can say no.
Very important. Also, no is a full sentence. Just putting that out there. Yes, like you have a very big point, but also no is a full sentence. Don't be afraid to say no in any situation. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Period.
Next question.
All right, we have a question from one of our audience members. Who would you like to act with next, if you could choose anyone?
Oh my goodness, there are so many good actors out there. Zendaya. Zendaya.
Today.
I know.
No, actually, of actors out there I've watched.
Diego Boneta.
Diego Luna. Wow.
Boneta.
Oh, Boneta. Oh, yeah. Luis Miguel. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Luis Miguel.
He was great in that. He was great in that.
I know he was also in Rebelde. And what's that other one with Tom Cruise? Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages. He was in Rock of Ages.
Yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
Rock of Ages. Yeah, it was the rock and roll, the musical. Anything else? Oh. This is the part I actually love, is people can ask any question they want.
What's your boots from?
My boots? Oh, Doc Martens. I love Doc Martens. They're nice.
Also, a more serious question. It seems like you're a little spiritual. What would you say has helped you on your journey with being spiritual and acting?
It's a good question.
Yeah. Oh,
The spiritual
I
aspect.
I have a bracelet. Oh my God, watch me not be able to get it. But it's a red bracelet. It's La Mano de Fatima. So I always protect myself with that. There's so much, I can't get it. It's stuck in my boot. It brings positive energy, and it also just like pushes away negative energy, which is very important. I do believe in limpias, because this world be crazy, and you don't know what's out there.
So you've had limpias?
I mean, as a baby too, with the huevo, and then sometimes it would come out black or with hair. Like what? but I believe that. Some people don't. I do. But yes.
I have to tell my Olympia story. I brought my son home from Cancun, and he was really sick, like unbelievably sick. And my wife is white, so but she's sometimes more Mexican than I am. I don't know how it worked out, but she goes, "We need Olympia for him." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Olympia for Julian?" She goes, "Yeah, we need Olympia
Was he a
for
baby?
him." Yeah. She goes,
And was he just like crying like crazy?
No, she was talking to my housekeeper.
Yeah.
And her housekeeper knows about Olympia. So all of a sudden, my wife's now into Olympia. So I go to sleep. At 5 in the morning, I hear this chanting sounds and all this stuff. And she's out there giving him some sort of oil thing. And he threw up. And he was perfectly fine after that.
Stop.
He never got sick. It was like the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. And so I'm thinking to myself, my white wife got me into Olympia. So it worked. So
It works, yeah.
It's one of our home remedies we talk about.
Yeah.
So
Mal de ojo.
you're spiritual with in terms of our Mexican culture.
Yeah. I also grew up Catholic.
Yeah. So you're mixed
So,
too.
yeah. Religion is its own thing, and you believe what you want to believe, and I pick and choose and mesh it into my own because there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, and so I say no to that, yes to this, and that's what I believe in.
So yeah, like I think most people. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain things that I look
It
at.
should be.
My family's Najera, so there's got to be Jewish, because there was the Sephardic name. So there's certain parts of Jewish religion I go, wow, that's kind of mixed. I like that.
Yeah.
Are certain things I tend to pick and choose my life too. So it's good. Yeah, I think you need, any time you go in this arts, you go into business, there has to be a spiritual base, something you believe in,
Yeah.
something bigger than you that you believe in. That's my learning as being a performer on stage. Before I ever go on stage, I say a prayer. I always say a prayer. And, I'm not asking for anything from me. I'm not like, new Mercedes or something strange. It's more like, will I make someone happy tonight? Will I touch them? Will they think something that makes them feel like, hey, that could be me too? Because all an artist is about is pointing to things and saying to you, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that incredible? All education is going, that's poinsettia. You know that was developed in Mexico? Oh, and then deeper and deeper and deeper layers and layers and layers to understand our life well. The two most important days, the day you were born and the day you figured out why. Mark Twain. I love having these conversations and talking. So please come back. We'll be back next year, I believe. And with some guests. I'm not going to say all the guests. One is a good friend of mine, Edward James Olmos. He promised me to come out. So he's got to come out to Morton. He's my godfather to my children. So he's truly he's my neighbor. So actually he's one of my favorite. That will be a very rowdy show. I know that for a fact, because he can say anything he wants about me because he knows me. So, and I just want to say, a big round of applause to, first of all, the president of the school, Dr. Stan Fields, what he's done. He's here today. Blanca, and all the rest in this community of Morton College and Cicero. This is your home. Come here anytime you want to Latino Thought Makers. We're here for you, and everyone here is welcome. Paulina Chavez, thank you so much. Real applause. Hey, we'll be out there. We'll take some pictures, and thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
Rick and Paulina, thank you guys so much. And like Rick said, everybody go on out to the lobby. They'll be out in about 5 minutes and take pictures and do a meet and greet, and they'll be happy to see you. Thank you all for coming.